Melbourne councillors are taking a stand against protesters who've taken over the city's streets nearly every weekend for almost 2 years. In a proposal now out for community consultation, the City of Melbourne has voted for a review of protests, seeking unified action across all levels of government to minimise disruption from the rallies, which they claim has taken a huge toll on businesses, locals, even emergency services. One of the councillors leading the charge is Roshina Campbell, Deputy Lord Mayor of Melbourne, and she joins us live from Melbourne. Good morning to you. What exactly do you want the state and federal governments to do?
Yeah, well, we've just put our council plan out for community consultation and it does lots of great things. It makes Melbourne a garden city, it sets our economy up for the future. But of course, you said it, Nat, one of the things holding the city back is the fact that for almost 2 years now, we have had protests every single weekend. That means a day of trade every week where our small businesses cannot get customers through their door, and sadly a day where plenty of visitors say they decide not to come to the city. In particular, we hear from our Jewish community frequently that they don't feel safe, but we also hear from elderly people, from disabled people, that you cannot come to a capital city where you can't move around freely because public transport is stopped and roads are blocked due to protests. Now, as you know well, there are plenty of different approaches to protests around the country, into New South Wales, and we see just this week in Queensland as well. There are attempts to block disruptive protests. Some jurisdictions have a protest permit system. Victoria doesn't have anything like that, but plenty of Victorian small businesses and city residents are fed up. So the council has said that it is time to make sure that every level of government comes to the table and has a real discussion about what can we put on the table to get the balance right. The right to protest is a great thing. Thank goodness we live in a country like Australia where we have the right to protest, but there has to be a balance between that and the disruption caused to our cities.
Right, so you're not asking for them to end. What, limit them once a month, once every few months?
Yeah, well, we absolutely want to protect the right to protest. It's a very important right in a liberal democracy like ours, but there has to be a balance there. So we haven't said what the options should be limited to. This is really, if this council plan is passed and it's out for the community to tell us whether they think that's a good thing, if it is passed, it would be about working with other levels of government. And, you know, there are lots of options that could be considered. It might be that you have a particular part of the city where protests occur. It might be that protests don't occur on those busy roads where they stop public transport and it means people and emergency services vehicles can't get around. And maybe it does mean looking at getting that balance right. In Victoria at the moment, we don't have the levers of other jurisdictions. We're hearing about the Queensland police wanting to stop a protest on the Story Bridge. We've heard Chris Minns in New South Wales looking at stronger legislation to try and get the balance right there so that you don't have an entire city brought to its knees. And in Victoria, we want to have a discussion about what levers achieve that balance.
Yep, and the higher levels of government maybe can step in. Interesting one. We'll ask people what they think and let's get a conversation going. Roshina, thank you for your time. Melbourne leading the way there.